Well, welcome to The World Today. I'm Amarachi Ubani. Yeah, the story is coming up within the half hour. Israeli settlers besiege Palestinian families in West Bank village. Rescue teams pull a man and woman alive after being trapped more than 20 hours under collapsed building in Cali, Colombia. Last countdown begins as millions expected to watch once-in-a-generation solar eclipse across Europe. Let's begin the World Today. We begin in the Middle East, where Israeli settlers have been besieging two Palestinian families in their homes in the occupied West Bank since Sunday, with the families saying their supplies are running out, rights group urging authorities to intervene. Earlier today, Israeli security forces reportedly withdrew from a Jewish settler outpost in the village of Kusra near Nablus, following clashes with a group of extremist settlers. About a dozen settlers are set to remain at the site. The latest developments come as a senior official told the Security Council in New York that the West Bank is at breaking point. According to reports, all Israeli settlements in the occupied West Bank are considered illegal under international law, while outposts are established without official Israeli authorization. Pakistan says it's making all-out efforts to bring the U.S. and Iran back to talks as Interior Minister Mohsin Naqvi meets senior officials in Tehran to discuss regional security and efforts to revive diplomacy. Pakistan's Foreign Ministry spokesperson Tahir Andrabi says Mr. Naqvi's visit will provide an opportunity to discuss bilateral relations, security-related matters, and regional developments with a particular focus on promoting peace, stability, and constructive engagement among the parties in the region. Meanwhile, the Iranian President Masoud Pezeshkian is reportedly calling for deeper economic trade, cultural, and security cooperation, while Naqvi says his visit will also follow up on agreements between the two neighboring countries. Earlier, U.S. President Donald Trump said the situation was going absolutely fine, claiming the U.S. has total control of the Strait of Hormuz.
Great young athletes, the future of our country, and we had a great time in Ohio, a fantastic time in Ohio. The country's doing well, the stock market's fantastic record. We have 79 records so far in a short period of time. More people are working right now in the United States than ever before, and prices are dropping fast. Iran is going fine, going just absolutely fine. We totally control the Strait of Hormuz. We have control over it. Nobody else, only us. Our Navy is unbelievable, and things are going great for our country.
U.S. President Donald Trump, in the meantime, he's confirmed he was secretly moved onto another military aircraft while leaving Turkey last month, where he attended a NATO summit. This happened after his security team warned of a potential threat. Trump says a Secret Service and military advised him to leave Air Force One and travel on a separate U.S. Air Force C-32A from Ankara to the UK. He adds he was not given full details about the threat, saying the consequential presidents face numerous security risks. U.S. media reports have linked the operation to a credible assassination threat, allegedly originating from Iran, although the White House has not confirmed that claim.
It's only up to Secret Service. I just follow what they'd like to do. So I go by Secret Service and the military. They wanted me to go on a different flight, a different plane, equal safety, but they wanted me to do it, so I do it. I do what they say.
What is the nature of the threat?
I guess there was a threat out there. I didn't really ask too much about it. I get a lot of threats. No, not surprised. I have a lot of threats. I have a lot of threats that you don't know about. Any consequential president has a lot of threats. Non-consequential presidents don't get threatened. And I think that I'm maybe the most consequential president. There's nobody who's done more than me in a period of almost 6 years. There's nobody.
Because when we fight,
we win.
when we fight,
We win.
when we fight,
We win.
Saying in the United States, protesters have been out on the streets of Washington, D.C., calling for federal forces to, quote, get out. This happening a year after President Trump sent the National Guard into the Capitol. Organized by Free DC and dubbed 1 year in End the DC Occupation, the protest marks the anniversary with another show of defiance at the former Black Lives Matter Plaza site near the White House. On August 11, 2025, President Trump ordered the mobilization of the DC National Guard after declaring what his administration called a crime emergency in the capital. A year later, the troops are still there, and the Pentagon estimates suggests that mission could run until January 2029 at a cost of around $1.4 billion US.
We're out here today because it's the 1 year anniversary of the day Donald Trump deployed the National Guard to DC. He also tried to take over a local police department here and surged federal law enforcement agencies 1 year ago today. In that year, this occupation, as we understand it, has hurt DC communities, it's hurt families here, it's hurt workers here, students, young people, our unhoused neighbors. It has hurt our community in so many ways. It has also made us stronger. We are here today because in so many ways DC is stronger now than we were 1 year ago, in spite of this administration's attacks, in spite of their attacks on our autonomy, on our budgets, on our people. This anniversary that we're here today celebrating, we just finished a big rally and event, is to affirm the fact that DC communities, DC residents deserve dignity. We deserve the power over what happens here, and this president does not, he is not the mayor, he is not the one in charge. We are the people, we are in charge, and the leaders who we elect, which is not this president.
The United States Senate has approved a 2-year extension of the African Growth and Opportunity Act, AGOA, keeping duty-free access to the United States market more than 1,800 products from eligible African countries. The extension will remain in place until December of 2028, providing relief for African businesses that rely on exports to the United States. AGOA has been a key part of U.S.-Africa trade relations for 25 years, allowing the United States to import billions of dollars worth of products including cars, clothing and other goods from 32 sub-Saharan African countries. The current agreement was due to expire at the end of September. U.S. Senator Raphael Warnock, who helped secure the extension, said the move would support economic stability and strengthen U.S. relations with African partners. We're in Colombia now, where earthquake rescue efforts still going on across the west part of the country. United Nations agencies saying they're ready to help with everything they've got, if and when authorities make that request. UN Resident Coordinator Torres Macho says once needs are identified, the UN system can provide support, particularly in food, security, health, water and sanitation.
Hospitals and clinics across Cali are seeing a surge in patients, while some medical facilities have also suffered damage following the 7.4 magnitude earthquake. The death toll has now topped 250 as emergency crews continue to scour building debris for survivors, pulling a man who has been trapped for more than 20 hours under a collapsed building in Cali. In the separate parts of the city, rescue teams pull a 31-year-old woman alive from the rubble of a collapsed building. As rescue efforts continue, survivors in Pereira and Manizales return to the ruins of their homes to salvage belongings.
I am a victim here from La Lorena too. The entire block collapsed. Here we are. It was 8 families affected. The ones over there were no longer fit for anything. We need help because we lost absolutely everything. We had people who died, but we are still searching, trying to find things of value or little bits and pieces of ours for something. We only ask for help. Please. That's what we need most.
Honestly, The house was completely on the ground, destroyed. We were left with nothing. These clothes I am wearing are because a neighbor lent them to me. But honestly, we were left with nothing. We lost absolutely everything.
The mayor of Cali, Alejandro Eda, says the quake has left 45 structures collapsed across the city, with 93 buildings and homes damaged. He says 239 people have been reported trapped under rubble. Meanwhile, United Nations agencies say they are ready to help with everything they got once authorities formally request assistance as rescue efforts across western Colombia continue.
The UN team is, of course, monitoring very, very closely. The OCHA team is monitoring very, very closely. That's why we have these reports. And the entire country team is meeting today to see how they can further support the national response of the Colombian authorities in any way, shape or form that may be requested, required or needed.
Our office in the country, in Colombia, activated its emergency response mechanism, and its field teams have been deployed to affected areas, including Cali and Choco, to support health sector assessment and coordination.
The 7.4 magnitude quake struck at a depth of 107 kilometers as its tremors was felt across Colombia and in neighboring Venezuela, Ecuador and Panama. As the search for survivors races against time, authorities say the full scale of the disaster is still coming into focus.
Resilience in Colombia. Germany is bracing for a wave of Russian-backed disinformation ahead of critical state and local elections this September. In an operation dubbed Matryoshka or Overload, more than 180 fake social media posts have been uncovered targeting political candidates with false accusations ranging from corruption to sexual misconduct. For more on this, we're joined by Thomas Sparrow, our correspondent with our partners DW. Thomas is in Berlin. What exactly is this operation and how are these fake posts being created and distributed?
Experts have found three main goals of this operation, Matryoshka or Overload. That's what it's being called. The first one is to discredit, the second one is to divide, the third one is to overwhelm. When you're talking about discrediting, it's mostly discrediting politicians from the center of the political spectrum, from different parties, both at a local and a national level, with everything from corruption to misconduct to even sexual allegations and murder as well. Interestingly, experts found that the parties in the political extremes, so the far left and the far right, were basically spared from this operation, and that has to do with the fact that those two extremes are normally closer to Russia than the parties in the middle of the political spectrum. That's one point. The second element, to divide, specifically the posts that were found are saying that Germany is again basically divided as it was before the Berlin Wall fell, and that politicians are trying to divide Germany even more, so dividing and polarizing. And the third element, to overwhelm, has to do with the fact that most of these posts do not necessarily have organic reach that is noticeable, but the amount of posts that are being found and that are being spread is so high that the goal there is to overwhelm both fact checkers and journalists and also social media users. They are being spread mostly on platforms like X, Blue Sky and TikTok.
Thomas, what evidence is there that points to Russian state involvement, and how does this fit into Moscow's broader strategy ahead of the elections in Germany?
So one element that experts have found, that have pointed to, is the fact that this operation bears the same hallmarks as previous operations that have been found in Europe ahead of important elections. So, for example, mimicking reputable media organizations. Most of the posts found here have the same, or at least very similar look and feel to the videos that are posted by reputable media organizations, including DW. So this is called media spoofing, which is a traditional way of disinformation that we've seen in previous Russian-backed disinformation campaigns. The second element is that when you look at the actual content of these, and we've been able to look at several of these in the fact-checking team at DW, is that there are translations from Russian. So if you look at, for example, some of the parties with their acronyms, they've been translated not from the German acronym to English, but from the Russian acronym. And that is basically something that experts say points again to Russian involvement. Now, Russian organizations and the Russian government in particular have often, also in the past, denied any involvement with these kind of disinformation campaigns. But experts here in Germany, the government as well, think that it's part of a broader Russian campaign or Russian-backed campaign of hybrid warfare, and that part of that is trying to destabilize voters through these disinformation campaigns and also present an image of a divided, polarized Germany to other countries around the world.
Well, Thomas, thanks again for bringing this to our attention. We do wish the Germans free, fair, and non-interferable elections. Thanks again. We're off on a short break on The World Today. Still ahead. Towering sand sculptures inspired by classic fairy tales turn South Korea's Yongil-dae Beach into a fantasy world this summer.
Our wildlife is world famous.
Welcome back to The World Today, and thanks for staying with us. Millions of people across the UK and parts of Europe are rushing to buy viewing glasses for the most significant solar eclipse since 1999. According to reports, more than 90% of the sun will be covered by the moon for most of the UK, while parts of Iceland and Spain will witness a rare total eclipse. Eclipse glasses are one of the best ways to view an eclipse safely, and many in the UK have been struggling to get hold of a pair at the last minutes. In the UK, some will be able to view the eclipse shortly after 6 p.m. British Standard Time before it peaks in an hour. I speak to our correspondent in London, Teniola Oyetayo, who I'm sure will be looking out for the solar eclipse. Teniola, great to see you. I see that, the sun is still very much up there in the UK. So what are we looking at? Why would this be the most significant event, for the UK at this time?
Hello, Marachi. Just a few moments now, the big show will get started. But it's a really, really exciting for people here in the UK because this is about as close as to a total solar eclipse as many people will see for a very long time across the UK and Ireland. Like you mentioned, around 90 to 96% of the sun will be covered by the moon at the peak, depending on where you are. London is expected to see just over 90% coverage, while parts of Western Britain and Ireland will see even more. So for many people, this will be the most dramatic solar eclipse they've seen since the famous total eclipse of 1999. Another thing is that, that makes this quite exciting is that it is the timing. It's happening in the evening with the sun already quite low and close to sunset. So for a lot of people that have a clear view, it should be quite a spectacular show.
Yeah. So will it be cooler, or will it be, we know it will be darker, but will it be noticeably cooler given the temperatures have been on the rise the last few weeks?
As for the temperature, Marachi, today has actually been quite warm. We're still in the middle of a heat wave and actually drought in some part. So I assume there will be maybe a slight dip in the temperature, maybe about 5 degrees Celsius, but it's already quite warm. So it's not going to be quite a dramatic sudden chill. I think the bigger effect probably will be the unusual light rather than a major change in the weather.
Yeah, and we talked earlier about people rushing off to get those eclipse glasses. Wonder if you have seen any of the rush or you have participated in the rush yourself, Daniela.
Okay, so there's definitely been a lot of excitement, and with that comes the rush, including myself. I've been trying to get a hold of certified eclipse glasses. I've been looking for over a week, and they've mostly sold out online. If they are available, they're coming after the eclipse, which is of no use. So there's been reports of shops selling out as well. I was watching the news earlier, and there was a long queue, just people trying to get a hold of one for the big show today. But luckily, there are public viewing events that have been organized in different places. I'm actually planning to go down to our local nature center where a science group is bringing equipment. So hopefully, I'm able to view it safely. The Royal Observatory in London is also hosting a live stream, which is useful for anyone who can't get a clear view or doesn't have the proper glasses. But I think it's really important that the government, scientists, everyone is warning people that there is excitement, but make sure that you enjoy it, but you protect your eyes. Normal sunglasses aren't enough for this viewing, so you have to get the certified glasses to view the eclipse.
Yeah, and you may not realize, the impacts it does have on your cornea and the rest of your eyes, but much later you'll notice the difference. Tenila, just before you go quickly, if anyone misses the event today, when next can they see, an event like this?
It's going to be a very long time. The next total solar eclipse visible from the UK is not expected until 2090. So 64 years from now. So that's a very long wait. Of course, there will be another notable partial eclipse in 2030, but it won't be as deep as today's. Other partial eclipses will also happen in the decades ahead. But most will not cover as much of the sun as this evening's event. So, if you can get out to watch it, it's going to be amazing. I remember I saw the one of 2006 in Nigeria, but I was still quite young, and that has stayed with me for a really long time. So it's definitely an unmissable event if you have the opportunity to see it.
Well, I won't stand in your way this evening, Teniola, so get going. Make sure you see that eclipse, come back and tell us all about it.
I will do, Marachi. Thank you.
Right. Well, we're still laughing here. We're also celebrating with football legend, I should say, Cristiano Ronaldo, who tied the knot with his long-term girlfriend, a decades-long relationship with Georgina Rodriguez, finally marking a new chapter in their lives together. Couple exchange vows in a seaside resort of Cascais, west of Lisbon, surrounded by their 5 children, in what Ronaldo's representatives say was an intimate family celebration. He marked the occasion by posting a photo of the couple's wedding bands on Instagram with a caption, C and G, or C loves G. The wedding comes exactly 1 year after Rodriguez, a model and influencer, announced their engagement. They met in 2016 when Rodriguez was working at a Gucci store in Madrid and have since become one of the world's most recognizable celebrity couples. Big congratulations to them. We have the program in South Korea, which Yonggil-dae Beach has been transformed into what seems to be a fairy tale world, towering sand sculptures bringing classic stories to life. In Pohang, visitors explore 6 giant sculptures, including a castle, Cinderella, Pinocchio, Hansel, Gretel, and the Little Mermaid. The Sand Festival, titled Giant Magic Embracing the Sea, has attracted visitors who stop to admire the intricate designs and take photographs. The sand artworks will remain on display until the end of this month, should you decide to visit. the intricate designs there. Thanks for watching The World Today. I'm Amarachi. Bye.